What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it. All right, everybody, welcome into another week of the Dan Russo Show presented by the Red and Gray Gridiron Group and Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm your host, Kyle Bennett, and joining me each and every week, the co-host and namesake of the podcast, head coach of Vineland High School football, Coach Dan Russo. Coach, how we doing this week?
Hanging in there. Just still trying to get back on track, as you know.
Yeah, I'm still thawing out from broadcasting the game outside at EHT. I was kind of bummed Rich didn't give me a heads up that game would be broadcast from the outdoors, but hey, we made it work, and it was a cold one, but we finished the job.
Yeah, it was. It's out there in the middle of nowhere, kind of, in the woods and everything, so it was a little cold. And a lot of dew. It was very slippery, especially as it got later in the night.
I was going to ask you about that because we noticed that pregame, and Rich told me he had walked down on the field earlier, and for a turf surface, it's pretty rare that, at that time of day that, the dew kind of sticks to it. Am I right?
Yeah, it was very slippery, and unfortunately on a couple plays, it definitely was a factor, and our guys weren't used to it. But like I said, it is what it is.
So unfortunately, the last Friday's game lost to EHT. For most of the game, though, it felt like it was pretty, in control from your guys' point of view, and they were just able to break off, three big plays to the same wide receiver on, kind of Hail Mary-esque throws. Just take me through, what you guys were able to pick up on film this week from that game, kind of learn from some of the mistakes and some of the things that got away from you guys in that second half, and what you guys are looking to correct as you get set for homecoming here against Pennsauken at home.
Yeah, well, basically, they had a few big plays on third down. We couldn't get off the field on third down, which hurt us, and then we didn't have some third down conversions offensively that, hurt us, and we kept them in the game, and they were able to capitalize on our mistakes. Guys were in position, I felt like, to make plays, but just came up a little short. Our defensive backs were in good position to react to the ball, but unfortunately did not. And they scored on 3 big pass plays that it's hard to bounce back from, and we're playing from behind, trying to catch up, and things just didn't go our way. But our kids, they battled. It's always a tough game with Egg Harbor. Big improvement over last year. I think we lost possibly 35-0.
Yeah, I think it was 36-0 last year.
Yeah, Vineland, and come back the following year and have a competitive game, and a game that we make 1 or 2 plays. We're probably talking about a big win for us, but we were unable to, and that's kind of what you get with a young team. We have a lot of young guys playing out there, like we discussed, a lot of juniors, a lot of sophomores, and hopefully they can learn from it and bounce back this week. Pennsauken, I mentioned them. They're 7-0, very good team. Haven't beaten a team with a winning record. Beat 2 teams with an 0-8 record. I think they are with Delran and Trenton possibly. And I don't know if they're as battle tested as we are, but they're a good team. They've got a lot of good skilled players, good quarterback, good receivers, good running back. And like I said, they're 7-0. We're going to give it our best shot. Kids have worked hard. They're positive. Every day just trying to get better. And, like I said, looking to bounce back. It's a crazy year. A lot of teams are beating teams that they shouldn't, and some teams that should win a game, lose a game. So we're just going to try to minimize the mistakes, work hard, and have a big homecoming win this Saturday.
I do want to touch on one of the plays from EHC that was a positive for you guys. It was that long run by Dan, down the sideline, finds that open gap and is able to just, use his legs and his strength to get into the end zone. We talk about it a ton, you and I, Rich and I talk about it a ton on the broadcast as well, where Dan's not necessarily a running quarterback. He's a quarterback that has the ability to run, but the strength and power that he runs with, I think, is just unprecedented for a lot of teams in South Jersey, and they're not necessarily prepared for the style of running that Dan possesses. Just take me through, what was going through your guys' minds when you see him kind of hit that hole, able to get down the sideline and just use, that strength running that he has to get himself into the end zone for his second rushing touchdown of the game.
Yeah, for a sophomore and a 15-year-old kid, he's advanced, and he's doing a nice job running the offense. And if he doesn't see something he likes and it's a passing play, he's been coached up and been told to take what you can get. And fortunately for on that one player talking about, he was able to run that in there for a touchdown. He saw an alley and he took it, and had some nice blocking on the play. I know I saw the one nice block by Hitchens on the outside, and the lineman did a nice job. We got some guys working hard there in the trenches, and he was able to evade a tackle down inside the 10. So it worked out. It was a nice run, but he has a nice combination of speed and power. He's a little, he's possibly over 6 foot, and he's over 200 pounds, and he's been playing football his whole life since pre-K. I signed him up early. Had to sign some type of waiver to get him playing, but I did it, obviously, being a football guy that I am. So he played a year early, and he's been playing his whole life. So he's got football chops, and he knows the game. And, thanks to his mother, he's got good genetics.
And the guys up in front of him going into the matchup against Washington Township, you guys had made some changes on the offensive line. Just talk to me about how those guys have been progressing in your guys' eyes through the past couple weeks, and what you've seen from them as they've strung a couple starts now in a row together as a unit.
Yeah, starting from the left to the right, 71 Darnell Herring, he's doing a great job. Big guy, junior, 6'4", 290. He's a great kid, doing a great job. I'll go with Jerry Sode, 72. He likes to go by Jerry. Alfemi, right?
Yeah, Alufemi.
Alafemi, great name, but he likes his nickname Jerry, 72. Basketball player that I was able to talk to, and he convinced his mother he want to play some football. So he's a junior, and he's doing a great job. He's
so strong.
He's so strong and athletic and fast. He's like Charles Barkley, he reminds me of.
Yeah.
In the basketball
That's a
court.
great comparison.
He's got that, fast twitch, muscle fiber for a big guy. And then, Gallo went down, and we had Keyshawn Chestnut Jr. get in there at center. He's doing a great job. Senior right guard Julio Garcia. He's another football player, started early. He's probably been playing his whole life, too. Probably started first or second grade. He's hanging in there at right guard, doing a great job for us. Played a little H-back for us last year, tackle. Now we got him at guard, play some defense. He's doing a hell of a job. And then first-year player, maybe played a little youth, but didn't play in high school and came out this year. on the track team. He's one of our throwers on the track team, and Jordan Bennett, holding it down at right tackle, and making some big time plays. Told me early on that basically one of these guys just wants to play defense, but Tyshawn Newman, another basketball guy, football player, he's doing an excellent job at tight end. He's big threat in our passing games. He's got great hands, attacks the ball. If it's up there, I'm confident he'll either catch it or knock it down. Another, like I said, junior. He's probably close to 6'3", 215 pounds. He's done a real good job for us. Then our second tight end, Tayshawn Sharp, he's hanging in there. He's like a linebacker playing, second tight end in our double tight formations. Hitchens doing a nice job. Powell's been a little nicked up, hurting us a little bit with a hip issue. He's like our best corner. He's been out last couple of weeks, but he's doing much better. Hopefully we'll get him in this week, and he can help us out defensively and offensively. We got some other guys, Xavion getting in there, sophomore, number 7. And then you got Charles, sophomore running back, learning how to run the ball on a varsity level. Some of these guys are young, used to being able to overpower guys their own age and get to the outside, get the sideline. But once they're playing varsity football and they're young like that, freshman, sophomore, playing against juniors and seniors, they just have to learn. It's much more competitive. They're basically skipping 2 years in their process as far as freshman and JV football, and they go right. Some of them go right to varsity. So, they're learning as they go. They're used to being the dominant player, which they will be when they're juniors and seniors, but they're still growing in their process. Guys are more mature. Another year in the weight room with some of these guys, actually another 2 years for some of them, make a huge difference. So, like this group, they got good attitudes. A lot of guys could be negative and, pack it in, but these kids, they're positive at practice. They're showing up. They're working hard, and they're doing all the right things.
And I think, bringing up the offensive line, that you have some new starters midway through the season this year. They're all pretty much juniors outside of Julio. And, they're learning together, and it's not like one of those things where a midseason change has caused massive disaster that you've seen at all levels. You see it at the NFL level if you have to bring in new offensive linemen, because it is a chemistry thing. But I think these guys have, locked into, just playing as a unit, and like you said, they lock in at practice. They're there every single day, trying to learn, trying to get better. I think it's a testament to the coaching staff. I think, the leadership that this team has this season is through the roof for such a young team too. And I think it's a testament to, just Dan's leadership in the huddle too, to kind of, command that huddle, get guys in positions that they need to be in. And the offensive line, I think this year has been across the board a really bright spot in the grand scheme of how things, have turned out week by week. I think they've just continued to get better and better as the season's gone on.
No doubt. And our offensive line coach, Coach Gilbert, Patrick Gilbert's father, is doing a great job. We get Patrick back this week, too, from a knee injury. He's going to the, trainers like 2-3 times a day. He's ahead in his recovery, so we get him back this week. So, the O-line is much improved. Coach Gilbert's got a lot of passion. We're happy to have him on board in our staff, and he's doing an excellent job with them, and they're competing, We've got a lot of first-year guys, unexperienced guys playing O-line, and they're battling, and we're all proud of them. It's, like you said, it's improved, and, looking and our record, obviously, it's not good, but I can remember good friends with Coach Fusatola, who was the head coach at Williamstown for a long time. And I can remember a certain group of guys as freshmen and sophomores, 3-7, 3-7. And then I want to say in 18 and 19, state champ, state champ. And unfortunately, we were on the other end of that 2 years in a row. In the quarterfinals, they beat us back when Tyrene was here.
Some cold, cold nights at that Williamstown football field.
Yeah, and you're year to year in any football program, private or public. A lot of teams, that have had success or struggling here and there with the West Jersey with the way they do it every 2 years with your schedule. And we got a tough schedule. There were some games out there we could have won, but we didn't. But we're gonna keep working hard and try to get back on track, like I mentioned.
And I think this year in particular too, like, even though, like you said, like the record may not reflect a lot of how some of these games have gone, I think this year in particular, just for you guys staying in games, staying competitive, the depth across the board at every position this year just about, I think, is so much more improved than what it's been in years past, where, across the offensive line, you've had guys that were inexperienced and undersized coming in. Now you have a bunch of these bigger, taller, stronger guys coming in. Even if they're not, experienced at the position, they can use that athleticism. They can use that size to counterbalance, some of the inexperience. And I think this year along the offensive line, the defensive line, some of the skill positions, and, defensively, in the secondary, there's a lot more depth that you guys have been able to kind of utilize to your advantage to stay competitive, even if guys are getting injured or have had to, cycle out and play different positions. I think the depth has really, shined this year.
Yeah, the kids are doing a great job. Like I said, they're staying positive, working hard, and trying to fight through this. Offensive line we discussed. Obviously, we get Gilbert back this week, but losing Jamison in a scrimmage, it's hard to replace 6'7", 315 at left tackle. He would have been a game changer. Charles Burt, we lost the tight end, another senior, and like Gilbert's been out for a month. So, unfortunately, it's not the NFL or college. You're not like 5 or 6 or 7 deep at certain positions, or you can't hire, go out and sign a free agent, or make a trade. You kind of are what you are, and it's very challenging, as a staff and for the kids and the program. But, the kids are handling adversity very well and giving us the best they have.
You guys come home this week after being on the road against the HT Pennsauken Saturday game due to homecoming festivities. Before we get into the game, obviously you being a Vineland High School football alum and a Vineland High School alum in general, you kind of reinvigorated the Saturday homecoming afternoon, pageantry to what homecoming is for football. Just talk to me about, what's homecoming, mean to you, having been a part of it, as a student, as a player at Vineland High School. What do you think homecoming is to you, and what do you think it should be, at the high school level?
Yeah, it's a celebration of the community and, Vineland Public Schools here, and football program and all the sports programs and cheerleaders, the Vineland High School marching band there and everything. So just trying to keep the tradition going. My first year we had homecoming was on a Friday night. I felt like it just didn't have the right feel. It was in and out and over with. So this way, you mentioned the parade and everything down Landis Avenue. They get to march, into Gatone Stadium, and we meet them there where they're warming up and getting ready for the game. But it's a tradition that I remember as a player here, and as a kid growing up in Vineland, and just trying to keep that tradition going. In this day and age, sometimes people aren't about tradition and try to take the quick, easy way out. But I think it's a great thing that we do here in Vineland, and it's a nice family atmosphere on a Saturday afternoon. Um, like I said, family atmosphere. I feel like it gives us an advantage as far as like a team getting out of sorts, saying, "What the heck are we doing playing on a Saturday?" We mentally prepare for it during our season. We're used to it now. The guys are adjusted that have been in the program and have experience. So, yeah, I always love being part of it, and looking forward to keeping that tradition going here at Vineland.
And you bring up the extra day playing on a Saturday. How does that? I know we've talked about it in years past on the show, and just off the record as well. But how does it go into the coaching staff? Kind of preparing for a game, having that extra day. Does it really change any of the scheduling for you guys and how you approach the week, or do a lot of the things kind of just stay the same, and it's just an added benefit of having one extra day to prepare?
Yeah, I actually like it. I feel less stressed out. We're not trying to cram everything in, and a shorter week. We have an extra day, and preparing for a football game, it means a lot. Um, I like that the kids get to do a walk through Friday and go home and get some good rest, and can wake up a little later on a Saturday and be ready to go, not having to worry about their academics and long day at school. The kids go to school 8 periods a day and getting up early. Some of them, depending on where they live in Vineland, the bus gets them probably before 7 o'clock. So, for a kid to get up 6 o'clock in the morning and be playing football almost till 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, that's not an easy thing to do. So I don't mind it. The only thing, with football is obviously it's Friday night lights for high school, Saturday for college, and Sunday for pros. That's kind of the schedule. So kind of throws that off for kids wanting to go to, see a friend or a family member play college on a Saturday. So it's tough to do all Saturday games, but I do like it.
Yeah, and I think it helps, like you mentioned, it helps with the preparation. It gives you that additional day to, kind of pick up on things in practice, pick up on things, film study, give you a little extra time in the weight room, give you a little extra time conditioning. I think the additional day, can benefit in a multitude of ways when it comes to just preparation and putting in the time and effort to get ready for a game.
Yeah, no doubt. And in addition to that, JV plays on Mondays, so those guys are expected to be ready to go on a Tuesday to be the scout offense and defense. So not only is it tough on the varsity, but JV especially. Then you have freshman games on Thursday. So there's definitely a lot of moving parts in a high school football program, especially when you have all three programs. And speaking of JV, I think I mentioned they did really well against Holy Spirit and beat them 14-0, but they continued their streak. And I want to say, I know it was 30 plus, but I think they beat Egg Harbor on Monday 32-0.
Here we go, boys.
So back to back weeks with shutout wins, and the JV team is bringing it. We've got a lot of young guys. We even brought a few freshmen up to play some JV, and doing a heck of a job. So laying the foundation for the future here, and real proud of those guys.
And I think that goes to just show a reflection of the current state of the varsity team right now, too, where it is a bunch of young guys, but even behind them, you have, some guys that are in similar ages or younger continuing to kind of build together. And I think that is one of the benefits of what is going to be like this next run of Vineland High School football is these guys are growing and coming up and playing together rather than, one player this year, three players this year, and then, by the time your core foundation is ready to go, they're all seniors, and then you have a couple juniors straggling along. Now it's like, a bunch of these guys are coming up as freshmen, coming up as sophomores, and they're building and playing and learning together, and I think that's only going to benefit this current group, next season, end their senior seasons, and then you see what JV is doing now when they get that call up to the varsity level. It's only going to continue that maturation process and continue, just that camaraderie that they have, and they're going to continue to build and play and win together.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping. I feel like the sophomore and junior class, is very strong. They're doing all the right things. The seniors that are here in our program are doing their best to show them how to be leaders and how to do the right things. So, we're hanging in there. And, like I said, any high school football program, you're kind of year to year, whether you're public school or private school. And obviously, you got to stay healthy. And fortunately, we've had some guys nicked up, but you do your best to stay the course and get better.
And, looking to this matchup against Pennsauken, we mentioned earlier in the show, they're 7-0. They've played some teams that, on paper may not, look the best. They are, stringing together wins week by week, though. What are some things that you guys have, picked up, film study sessions that, they do really well that you think you guys can match up well against, their positive skill sets? And what are some things that you guys think you do really well that you can try to exploit, some of their, chinks in the armor, if you will?
Yeah, like I said, they're very talented. They've got a lot of speed. I think one of their receivers, someone told me he's going to Boston College. But I'm just reading off a message I sent to the team. We've had a tough schedule. There's the teams that we've played, the Kingsways, the Holy Spirits, Washington Township, even Oakcrest is 6-2. Played a lot of tough competition. They faced, 7 teams with a combined record of 11 wins and 40 losses. And 2 of those teams are 0-8. So I don't know how they got that schedule, because they had a very good year last year. I think they made the sectional finals against the neighboring town. But we definitely have been battle tested. We've played some really good teams, and I'm hoping that helps us. We're going to have at least 4 games remaining, whether we make the playoffs or not. And we're looking to be competitive in each one of those games and win those games. But, I'd like to say we've played much better teams than they have, not knocking them. I mean, you can only play who you're scheduled. But I'm hoping that the schedule we've played and the progress we've made and the kids competing, can help us get some wins here down the road.
And is that 4 games including Pennsauken, or is that post-Pennsauken?
4 games including Pennsauken.
So that'll be, some more
minimum games. The minimum we have left is 4 right now. If you make the playoffs, say you lost your first round, you get another consolation after the first loss. If you don't make the playoffs, you get 2 consolation games like we did last year with Bridgeton and Atlantic City. So we're going to have a minimum of 4 games left on our schedule.
Which is just, continuing to allow this core to build, play together, learn together, and win together, which I think is a big positive, for the rest of this season and moving forward. I know, Pennsauken, there's some ties with this coaching staff now. Has Coach Tucker, brought up, this matchup at all, what it, means to him potentially, or has it kind of just been, business as usual for him and he's not trying to build it up too much?
I'd say more business approach. Just trying, you're so limited with your time during the week with the kids and trying to get them ready for a game. There's not a whole lot of extra time for that kind of stuff. And it's been more business-like, and he's just trying to, get the kids ready on the offensive side of the ball.
And I think, if the outcome is what we expect and what we hope for, come Saturday, late afternoon, I'm sure he'll be much more ecstatic and a little more, rah-rah than business as usual. Because I think that's any coach who's facing their former team.
Yeah, no doubt. He's an emotional guy and has a lot of passion, and very thankful he's here with us. He's doing a great job. But yeah, I would agree with you.
And looking at this matchup, having that home crowd, I think we've talked about it, a couple weeks ago with just how passionate and how full of energy the crowd has been at Gatone Stadium this year. Now you kind of turn that up from maybe like a 7 to a 10 with it being homecoming. How excited is the team? How excited are you guys to have that home crowd behind you with that added emotion and that added emphasis of homecoming being there? So it'll be an even more lively event on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, no doubt. We've had a lot of great crowds at our homecoming events, and a lot of great victories. And we're hoping we can pull one off this Saturday. It should be a great day. Be very electric. The Miss Monogram tradition as well will be taking place at halftime. I think the cheerleaders and possibly even the band are getting recognized. The seniors, we're going to honor our seniors at our last game. But we should have a big crowd. Hopefully, I think the Blitz play on Sunday, and I want to say the Vineland Midgets do too. So hopefully we get a lot of youth football players out supporting the team, and it's a nice family atmosphere.
Yeah, it's always the homecoming emphasis, and it's pretty cool. With the Miss Monogram stuff, I was an escort for Miss Monogram. My sister was in Miss Monogram, so it is something that you reflect back onto the high school days, and you remember all of that. And if only I was in high school when you guys made the switch to the Saturday afternoon, because my Miss Monogram was a Friday night. It was ice cold. You would have thought it was the dead of December. We were all frozen solid, chapped lips, shaking, freezing. It was unbearable.
I can only imagine. It does make a difference with the sun out during the day,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
at 1 o'clock. We can tell when we're practicing, and you get out there about 2:45 for warm-ups, and as you get later in the day, towards 6 o'clock, it cools down. So I hear that the weather's supposed to be very nice, so we're looking forward to a great day here in Vineland.
Especially when you're sitting in the convertible cars with the wind whipping, no sun in sight. It is you got to be battle tested for that, and sometimes you're not truly ready for December weather in October.
Yeah, I hear you. Especially the older you get, you can't take it as
Oh,
much. And you're a young guy, so I'm sure you can take it much more than I can. And guess what? You get to sit in the press box when you're home, right?
yes, I do. That is one of the benefits of now making that transition to the booth is being up top in the press box. It is quite toasty in there, to say the least.
Nice. Sounds good, man. I've been on the sideline for a few cold ones, but I think the coldest one. Were you at that Lenape game, that playoff game that one year with us? Were you here with us yet?
I'm not sure if I was or not.
I think that's the coldest I've ever been in my entire life. It was so cold, and they had the home field advantage, and I felt like some of their community members, alumni, whatever, had all kinds of heaters on the sideline for them. And I'll tell you what, we were freezing our asses off, and so were the players. I never will forget that. The one thing I can remember is just my feet being so damn cold. And I can remember Pacheco and Naheem and Sanson. They were tough guys, but they were like, they didn't look too tough that when they came in and running in the locker room wanting to get hot, get some heat on them. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's tough with the elements, no doubt.
it makes you really question once it gets colder and windier during high school football season. Once December rolls around and they're showing those guys on NFL pregame that are up there at Lambeau or some of these colder places, and they're just walking out there barefoot in tank tops in the snow. It really makes you question, how crazy are those guys?
Whole nother level, man.
Like, you want to talk about built different. Those guys are built totally different, because I couldn't even imagine thinking of doing that.
Yeah. I think Tom Brady made the right choice when he went to Tampa Bay for that
Yeah.
one. Going to prolong his career.
Get out of Dodge from New England and go enjoy the Tampa sun.
Yeah.
Obviously we talk about it all the time. It's a look good, feel good, play good podcast. CJ Gardner-Johnson from the Philadelphia Eagles did drop a feel good, look good, play good in his post-game press conference after grabbing 2 interceptions against Cooper Rush and the Dallas Cowboys as he wore big style and blinging sunglasses during his press conference. It was very entertaining, but I said, oh, there's the phrase. So going for homecoming, what's the attire looking like for everybody come Saturday afternoon, Coach?
Yeah, I left it up to the seniors, and their favorite combination is those new anthracite jerseys with the anthracite pants. I think they're leaning toward wearing them with the gray helmets too. We wore them once with the white helmets, but we might go for the anthracite with the red and gray helmets. It's homecoming. Celebrate our school colors. Our school colors are in the white helmet, obviously too, with the red and then the gray uniform. But I think, my opinion, I like the red and gray helmet with it. But it's up to the seniors. I let the kids, have some influence on that. We try to get these things for the kids, to create excitement and let them have a good experience here playing at, in the Vineland High School football program. So definitely the anthracite unis. I gave them out today to the guys. They're going to wear their jerseys tomorrow. And 50-50 on the helmets. So it'll have to be a game time decision for us here.
So are those the jerseys that we wore week 0 against Oakcrest?
Yes.
Those, I got to tell you, Coach, I hope those stay in the rotation for years to come.
Yeah,
when I saw those on opening week, my jaw hit the ground. Those are some of the most gorgeous jerseys Vineland High School football has ever put on.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's like, when I designed them, I was trying to get I follow the Big Ten. I like Big Ten football. I mean, I love all the schools, the traditions there, and I feel like they're a Big Ten look, and there was some money sent to the red and gray through Coach Parentazzi with people wanting to donate money in his honor. So I wanted to honor Coach and have a tough looking Big Ten look uniform like he would have liked, and I think he would have been real happy with those. So real happy with those. Even gave it a little extra flair with the roosters on the side, so I think it looks good. And kids like them. Hopefully we can squeak out a win here and they feel good about themselves like we discussed. Look good, feel good, play good, right?
Exactly. It's the winning formula.
Yeah, so I kind of like them with the gray helmets. I thought that was a good look, but I'm going to let the seniors decide. It's their homecoming. We're honoring them. And, definitely the anthracite unis, but the helmet is to be determined.
Yeah, and I think those unis, too, they're just aesthetically, pleasing to the eye. When you see them for the first time, it's like, wow, those are, beautiful-looking jerseys.
Yeah, I agree with you. Going into year 10 and, dealing with some vendors and found a real good one in Sports Paradise, who's the authorized Nike dealership in our area. I deal with Scott Trieber. Met him at one of our clinics many years ago. And anytime I would want Nike stuff, and I didn't know Scott yet in Sports Paradise, you'd have to go through another vendor, and they had to deal with Sports Paradise. So in addition to working with the best person I could find and dealing with Nike directly here, you cut out that extra salesperson. So we get a great product for a great price, and he's been real good to us, and it's been a pleasure dealing with him. And he helps me design these uniforms. They actually put on a computer, and Nike has some software that you can actually pick the color, the font, the size of the font, what you want in it, logo, all the things you see in these uniforms. And it's not easy matching up colors and helmet colors that are painted as far as the color of the helmet with the fabric of a uniform. Because you want your kids looking good, you want your program looking good, but it's extremely time consuming. Then you have to figure out the number combinations with the sizes, and it's very involved. But I don't mind taking the time to make sure our guys are in uniforms and apparel they can be satisfied with, and everybody can be proud of with the football program.
Yeah, and as we always do, obviously we'll get our final thoughts in for homecoming, but we always talk about our alumni at the end of the show as well. And the Isaiah Pacheco fan club continues to grow, Coach. This week, picture on social media goes a little viral with Peter Schrager from the NFL Network, Good Morning Football, hanging out with his buddy Paul Rudd, who a lot of people at home may know as Ant-Man from the Marvel and Avengers movies, holding up an Isaiah Pacheco jersey as they're podcasting together. And I saw that, and my jaw dropped to see somebody, at the height of Paul Rudd, who has been in a number of movies. We were talking before we started recording, Dinner for Schmucks, 51st Dates, I think he might have been in. I think he was in The 40-Year-Old Virgin, like all those classic rom-com movies as well. And then also, to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, holding up Pop's jersey is a pretty wild spectacle to take in.
Yeah, when I saw it on social media, I knew who the hell it was, but as soon as you said Ant-Man, I knew who Ant-Man is because my kid, when he was younger, was watching all that kind of stuff. But, I know who his name is, but I thought that was pretty cool. And like you said, the Dinner for Schmucks,
it's one of the funnier movies of all time.
Yes, it is. And when you mentioned these movies to me, then I knew who the guy is. He's a good dude. He's funny as hell. And that's pretty cool that he's putting on our own Isaiah Pacheco's jersey. Hopefully, he continues to get better. It's a progression there in the pros. He's getting some carries, and I know he's hungry for some more carries because that's just the way he is. He wants the ball. He wants to do great things for his team. But he came out a year early at college. He's got plenty of his career left, and he's just going to continue to get better. And it's really just breathtaking for me to watch. I always look forward to see who the Chiefs are playing. Play San Francisco this week. So every time I see that the Chiefs are on, I want to be able to watch that. I really start to think about all the neat places in the country that Isaiah's been now. Now he's going to California. I'm sure it's the first time for him. And I didn't realize that I feel like I stumbled across it in an interview or something I read that I think the first NFL game he ever went to was the one he's playing in. And so I think that's pretty remarkable too. So he's getting to go to all these great cities and experience, their culture and everything else. So I'm sure, it's going to be an exciting experience for him to be in San Francisco for the weekend.
Yeah, and that stadium is quite the spectacle too. And it's funny because it's not even really in San Francisco. It's in San Jose, and everybody that my parents have friends that live out in California that are 49ers fans, and they always complain. It's like driving from New Jersey to New York to get there with the added traffic that they have. You have to leave like 4 hours before the game to even get there because of all the traffic in California that happens. And it's like a 2-hour drive without the traffic.
I didn't know that, but I guess with all the people moving out of California to Texas, that might be better for them.
Yeah,
you're right. Sounds like people are leaving California by the bus loads, right? From what the news tells you.
It's so crazy how expensive it is out there.
Traffic will clear up for them.
Maybe Isaiah will bring Jamil back with him.
Yeah, that'd be something.
And my dad was texting me. He was watching one of the games a few weeks ago when the Chiefs were in prime time, and then when they were playing the Bills this week, he was like, "Man, Isaiah just runs angry. Like, I wouldn't want to try to tackle him because his face, he looks like he wants to kill you."
You know what it is? He's just so determined to be great, and that's what he is, great. And even as a freshman, he was 145 pounds, maybe. Might have been 135.
It's like soaking wet, maybe.
Whatever it was, he was thin. And he was very adamant about challenging people and putting the shoulder pad down and trying to run them over, and instead of just running out of bounds. So finally, as a sophomore, I think he started to learn, hey, listen, I gotta try to make it through a season. I can't risk injury and challenge everybody every play, when I'm running the ball. So I was real happy when he finally processed that. And as he got older, he started running out of bounds more. But usually he ran it in for a touchdown. So we really didn't have to worry about that too much.
Yeah, and I mean he just continues to get better and better, and we'll continue to see him playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. And it looks like they kind of have the clear path ahead of them in that division. It's not as hyped up as it was preseason with how bad the Broncos have been, how bad the Raiders have been. They kind of have a much clearer path, I think, to winning that division, getting in the playoffs a little bit easier than I think a lot of people thought during the preseason.
Yeah, hopefully it continues to go the right way. Did you see that this Beckham guy, did he go to the Chiefs today? Or was that like a bad story?
So, I'm an avid listener of Jason and Travis Kelce's podcast, which is fantastic stuff. And Travis Kelce recently restructured his contract to, instead of it being part of his contract, it gets to a signing bonus. So then it clears cap space out, and Travis gets that money right away. It cleared about, I think, like $3 or $4 million in cap space for the Chiefs. And there's rumors that OBJ is, potentially taking a visit to the Kansas City Chiefs for a workout. And Jason asked his brother, he said, so can you confirm or deny any of these rumblings since you just restructured your contract? Like, what's going on there? He's like, I can't confirm nor deny, but I would really like if those rumors were true. So wow. I think there might be some rumblings that Odell Beckham Jr. might be heading to Kansas City soon.
Well, that'd be something. That would really set them up for a nice playoff run.
Kind of fills in the... I know he can't... he's not, like, ready to return from his ACL injury that he sustained in the Super Bowl until November. But I think they're just getting the process started now to get ready to sign him for when he is ready to get back on the field.
Yeah, no doubt. And you get him back during playoff time, as a defensive coordinator, you're definitely concerned about a player like that. So it'll open things up for the other guys, even if they use him as a decoy.
And I think, with them losing Tyreek Hill to the trade to the Dolphins, just opens up that deep threat, a guy who's just a unbelievable athlete and, can get open and create opportunities for that Chiefs offense that even without Tyreek Hill, they're absolutely lethal.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then, we got our guys playing at the NCAA level. Obviously, Tyreem at Rutgers doing his thing, continuing to, just get better and better with this Rutgers team. They've got Indiana on the schedule this week, which is a big-time, Big Ten rival there. They got some tough opponents coming up. They're getting in the meat of that Big Ten schedule coming up, Coach. They got Indiana at home this weekend. Then they go on the road next weekend to play Minnesota. And the number 4 team as of right now in the country on November 5th comes to Rutgers, Michigan Wolverines. And then Rutgers goes to Michigan State on November 12th. And then Penn State comes to town on November 19th. And then November 26th, they go to Maryland.
Yeah, and Maryland's much improved too. So every one of those games is tough. Michigan's tough. They're playing real good ball. Just blew out Penn State just about. And Harbaugh won't take his foot off the gas. If he can put 60 on you, he'll put 60 on you. So, they got their work cut out for them, no doubt.
And even though we don't have anybody there, I got to ask, did you see the viral videos of all the kids from Tennessee taking the goalpost down after they beat Alabama and just walking it through the streets of Knoxville, Tennessee?
Yeah, the other night at Egg Harbor, they had a bunch of kids run out, maybe 40 or 50 of them. And my kids were a little upset, and I said, hey, listen, bottom line is if you win the game, they're sitting in the stands. So next time, make sure you think of that and you win the game. But I had no problem with it. They're young kids. They're excited. I thought it was actually kind of neat. It was like a college atmosphere. So then I was thinking about it, put it in perspective. I'm like, they probably had 80,000 people on the field. So I think we could handle 50 kids running out and being happy that their high school team, you know, won a football game. And I had multiple administrators from Egg Harbor and coach multiple times apologizing, and each time I said, "Listen, there's no problem with that. I thought it was neat. It's a great culture, great fans. I guess I don't know. Maybe it's unheard of in high school, but I think some high schools have done it. The kids were excited. It was a big win for them. Um, but getting back to what you said, the Tennessee game, I couldn't take my eyes off that entire game. It was a great game. I thought Alabama finally figured it out and pulled it out when Tennessee fumbled on a handoff, and Alabama scooped and scored. But sure enough, Tennessee drove the field, tied it up, and Alabama had a chance to win it at the end there and missed the field goal. And sure enough, what was it, 10 or 15 seconds left on the clock, and Tennessee got in position, and the guy hit one of the ugliest kicks ever to go in for a field goal, knuckleball, but I think it was maybe partially blocked.
Yeah.
And somehow it got over the uprights, and I couldn't take my eyes off it, the Twitter stuff, and, the cigars. And then it was funny watching the students trying to get the field goal post out of the stadium. I think at one point they were going up the steps with it, trying to throw it off the top of the stadium.
Yeah. And then there was videos of them walking down, I think it's Broadway in Tennessee. They're just walking down the street, crowd surfing this goalpost. And then I did find it kind of strange that a university like the University of Tennessee, a multi-billion-dollar establishment, kind of had the audacity to go on social media and start a GoFundMe page to get a new goalpost for their next game.
It was hilarious. I just think, when they can capitalize on getting money, why not? I'm sure they got over $100,000 already for it.
And then there was a video of it was either the athletic director or the president. I think it might have been the president of the school up in his booths and, watching everything go down. And everyone's like, what's this going to cost? He's like, I don't care. It can cost whatever.
We can afford it.
Yeah. And then they put a GoFundMe out.
I think it's half a joke. They don't need the money.
No, not at all. But I was blown away that they got a goalpost out of the stadium that and championed it around.
That was an incredible party, that's for sure.
And Tyreem, good. I think it's a good spot for them playing Indiana. It's similar skill sets across the board for both teams. Indiana's not really the same as they were back in 2020 when they had their big statement year in the Big Ten. I think this could be a good bounce back for Rutgers to get back in the win column.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy because I feel like they just played Maryland tough, and Maryland's improved. So hopefully they can play tough and pull that win out.
Yeah, we got our list of all our guys performing at the NCAA level, and obviously we have a game this week, so you won't be able to make it out to any of those games, but we're wishing our best to all the guys playing on Saturday and throughout this week, coming up on the college level of things. And I'm going to try to reach out to Jamil this week and get a status update and give everybody the scoop on what's going on with Jamil, because the Rams just lost an offensive lineman, and shockingly enough, I thought Jamil was going to be, on the speed dial there, but they signed somebody else, I think, from their practice squad and just elevated them. But they lost a guy that Jamil had been battling with over the past couple of years in Noteboom. I think he might be done for the season. So I thought Jamil would have been one of the first guys they gave a call to.
Yeah, well, hopefully it works out for him, and he gets back with the Rams or finds a home with someone else.
Absolutely. And, Coach, any final thoughts as you head into homecoming here against Pennsauken, some things you're looking for, and, what your guys' expectation is going into this game, final regular season game of 2022?
Yeah, watch a lot of film on Pennsauken and seeing, the opponents they played, and, some things, some programs had some success on versing them. I think, put in a really good game plan, and we're just going to try to utilize that and have our kids focused and prepared. They put the work in. And at the end of the day, it's high school football. That's why you got to play the game, and anything can happen. And we're hoping to get back on track here and win the football game.
It's going to be a good one. 1 o'clock kickoff this Saturday. You guys can tune in on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. It'll be Rich Scarpa and a featured guest, as I have wedding number 2 of 2 this month going down on Saturday. So I'll be down in Cape May Courthouse, and hopefully that nice weather sticks the way that things are supposed to be, especially down the shore. But Rich will be on the call 1 o'clock p.m. from Gatone Stadium as you guys look for, once again, looking for that first win since November of 2020. And I'm hoping you guys get the job done. And next week we're talking about, a big-time next matchup coming off a win and, just getting prepared for, this final stretch run here in 2022, Coach.
Yeah, no doubt. I didn't know the wedding was so close. Next time, let me know, and I'll ask Coach Shiano if you can use the helicopter. You could have done the game on helicopter to Cape May Courthouse, right? You could have been there in 20 minutes.
Perfect. That would have been awesome. Just flying. It's like, what is that doing? I just land at midfield.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was really neat when he called me and I was teaching in health class. He goes, "Hey, I'm going by Vineland High School. Why don't you stop out and say hi or something?" I think he's driving by in his SUV or something, and next thing you know, they're out there in the helicopter going over Vineland High in the front, the 11-12 building, waving to me. I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
That's one heck of an SUV there, Coach Shiano.
Yeah, no doubt. So it was a neat experience. Really neat helicopter with the big Rutgers R prominent there, and him waving out the window. It was pretty cool. And
That's
then
pretty neat.
Limousine's over from the airport and spends half a day over here with us, Vineland High. And he's like, "You got any good Italian place around here?" And I said, "Yeah, we got a few." He goes, "What's close by?" And I said, "This place Martino's, football field length away from the fields here, and we can go over there." And he went over there. We had lunch, and he enjoyed the food, and he got a little taste of Vineland,
There it is. And he didn't leave with a sour taste in his mouth like some of the MLB GMs did. I don't know if you saw a few years ago when they did the Mike Trout documentary. Billy Beane from the Oakland A's, he said, "I'll never forget that little sandwich shop in South Jersey. He went to Jim's lunch before he went to go scout Mike Trout, and they didn't end up drafting Mike." He goes to a division rival, and he's like, "I'll never forget South Jersey as long as I live."
Yeah, we got better Italian food over here than that.
100%.
No doubt.
1 o'clock, though, kickoff. It's going to be a big one. Vineland and Pennsauken homecoming. So come out for the festivities. Tune in, Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. And make sure you guys are following Vineland High School football on all social media platforms. Facebook, the Red and Gray Gridiron Group, at Vineland FB on Twitter. And you can follow Underground Sports Philadelphia on Twitter at Underground PHI. And make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast feed so you don't miss an episode of the Dan Russo Show the rest of this season and moving forward. Just search Underground Sports Philadelphia on your podcast app of choice. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews as well. And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel where you get to watch the Dan Russo Show in full video form. This episode obviously going to be on the same schedule as the football team. It'll debut Friday night rather than Thursday night. And you get to tune in, be in the live chat with us, and get set for a big homecoming matchup against Pennsauken, Vineland Pennsauken at Gatone Stadium. It's going to be a good one. And, Coach, hopefully next week we're talking about a big Vineland High School football win. We'll see who the opponent is the following week. And looking forward to another episode coming up next week.
It sounds good, Kyle. Appreciate everything you do for us, promoting our brand, and hope you enjoy that wedding, and we'll touch base next week.
Absolutely. So for Coach Russo, I'm Kyle Bennett. This has been another episode of the Dan Russo Show, presented by the Red and Gray Gridiron Group and Underground Sports Philadelphia. And we'll talk to you all